Hello friends, how are you today? May we always be healthy and happy. Okay, introducing us from Group 2 with members Dini Melinda, Fitriani, Nissa, Rahayu, Inggar, Permana, Putri, and Leila Dara, rosyda. In here, we will explain our journal analysis about nurse reports on stress situation during the COVID-19 pandemic, qualitative analysis of survey responses. Well, the first presentation will be delivered by Fitriani Nissa Rahayu, then by Inggar Permana Putri, and next by Leila Dara rosyda. And the last presentation will be delivered by Dini Melinda. Okay friends, happy watching! Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Fitriani Nissa Rahayu. For the first, we must know the title of the article. The title of the article is Nurse Reports of Stressful Situation During the COVID-19 Pandemic, Qualitative Analysis of Survey Responses. Well, first the author. The author from this journal are Judith E. Arnett, Courtney M., Gotts, Beng B., Arnett, and Iman Arbel. Next, this journal from International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, volume number 11, page number 8126. Date of article is 3 November 2020. Next, we will discuss the background or introduction in this journal. What has previous research found about the topic? The rapid spread of the disease in late 2019 and early 2020 caused many healthcare systems guard and scrambling to provide intensive care unit beds, ventilators, and personal protective equipment, or PPE, for both healthcare workers and patients. With the pandemic, nurses have confronted a perfect storm of conditions that threaten their health, well-being, and ability to perform their jobs. Media report from many of the world COVID hotspots, including Italy and the United States, document extreme exhaustion, physical discomfort from long working hours with face masks and other PPE, fear of contagion, and emotional distress in nurses. This combination of physical and emotional strain on an already stressed nursing workforce has become a hallmark of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is therefore critical to study nurses' experience and well-being during and in the aftermath of the current crisis in order to identify risk groups for ill health and potential sources of organizational intervention. Well, the next presentation will be delivered by my friend. She is Inggar Permana Putri.
Hello my friend, my name is Inggar Permana Putri. I here will continue the presentation of group material track way that is 2. How will this study and 2. Previous research? Okay my friend, next the material is research on the effect of the pandemic on nursing health and well-being is still speech, and then a closer analysis of response in that survey to an open-ended questionnaire. Stressful situation would help to shed light on circumstances and conditional influencing nursing resection to work during the pandemic. Qualitative research from previous pandemic emphasized the importance of studying the experience of frontline nursing to form effective workplace and national response during future health crises. Better understanding of current accountability, supporting organizational and workplace efforts to mitigate the stress, and I will help that nurses are experiencing during and in the wake of the pandemic. Okay, next, the material. Number 3, what are research questions in the study? Answer, how is the stressful situation during the current COVID-19 pandemic is happening to nurse? Okay, next, the material is a methodology. Okay, friends, next, the material. Question number 1. What was the type of the study? Answer, in this study using qualitative consent analysis with a cross-sectional survey study. And question number 2. Where on when was the study conducted? The study was conducted on nurse in the Michigan in May 2020. Okay, my friend, next the material. Question number 3. Mention the number of population and simple the study is answer. Participants were recruited from the Michigan chapter of the American Nurse Association, Michigan Nurse Leader Organization, and Michigan Qualification of Organization Nursing. All members of the organization, along with her percent, are eligible for participation. Approximately 18,000 there are 100 nursing. Then a sample of 696 US nurse was taken in May 220. Context analysis was carried out on nurses' response in 455 to open questions about the most stressful situation they had experienced during the pandemic.
Thank you, Inggar. I appreciate your time. Hello friends, my name is Leila Dara rosyda. On this occasion, I will discuss the methods employed in this study. Okay, what was the sampling technique used in the study? Using questionnaire 85 item was developed by the research team for the purpose of the study and open-ended and asked nurses to describe the most stressful situation you have dealt with during the COVID-19 pandemic. The next is procedure. How was the study conducted? In order to identify themes in the nurses' reports of stressful experience, a researcher with training in qualitative analysis (CG) thoroughly examined the responses and noted recurring issues. This researcher then re-examined the response with these preliminary themes in mind and either eliminated or verified and defined them. These preliminary themes and their definition were sent to a second researcher, EA, who then examined the response and noted where themes needed further clarification and suggested them to be added or removed. The two researchers discussed and refined the themes until agreement was reached. The final definitions were then recorded in a coding form. What kinds of data were collected?
Anna, Michigan distributed survey directly to nurse members. Common anti-monal used a snowball recruitment technique, asking their members to distribute the survey within their respective organization. Each of the organizations sent a link to the online survey via email. Questionnaire used to collect the data. How did the researcher analyze the data? The consolidated criteria for reporting qualitative research, correct, were followed in the planning and execution of the study to ensure methodological integrity. Qualitative content analysis of the open-ended responses was conducted using a data-driven inductive approach to code the content into themes. Thematic analysis provides a framework for structuring qualitative data by establishing a coding system in which codes are grouped into recurrent themes that are relevant to the research question. Structuring the data in this way helps to create meaning out of complex raw data. Okay, my friends Dini Melinda will give the next talk about result, and I cordially welcome you to attend. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dini Melinda. Here I will continue the next slide. What are the findings? A single open survey item was answered by more than 2/3 of the questionnaire respondents, and 4.556547%. The symptoms revealed in this study fear of contracting a possible fatal illness is a natural and understandable source of anxiety, because the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, the caused COVID-19, is highly contagious. Nurses who have made contact with infected or potentially infected patients are understandably concerned about contracting the disease and spreading it to others. In addition to being afraid of contracting the virus itself, nurses also noted the stress caused by the restriction imposed by the pandemic. After a long and tiring shift working with critically ill and dying patients, nurses suffocate. In addition, because they have to isolate themselves from their loved ones, the feeling of happiness and associated incompetence that are captured as symptoms are also echoed in some of these reports, with DPS nurses struggling to maintain their composure and simply move on, doing the best they can to help their patients. The next, Workplace temps account for more than half of all response code. Many of the critics are concerned, noting the failure of the workplace to meet the needs of nurses of safety, scheduling, and education about the care of COVID patients. Workplace concord have been documenting the COVID-19 pandemic, identifying issues with care and resource planning. A related but part-time related to the stress specifically associated with PPA profession guidelines for its use and the physical discomfort of wearing it for long periods of time is insufficient or inadequate. The final times opinion politics only cover about 10% of comment, but almost 100% agreement between court. Media reports have documented nurses' frustration over the failure of healthcare executives and politicians to do everything possible to keep frontline nurses safe and protected. Nurses have expressed astonishment and anger at the government lack of preparation for the pandemic, comparing the provision of PPA for health workers in other countries to scarcity and shortage. The next consultation. Okay, the next. Do the finding answer the research question? Explain. Yes, the finding of the study have answered the research question, which was to investigate how you see nurses perceived the most common sources of stress during the early phases of the coronavirus pandemic. According to the finding of the study, there are various types of stress that make burnout in nurses will providing patient care. Nurses who are worried of become infected with the coronavirus are a source of worry. Nurses who come into contact with infected or potentially infected patients on a regular basis are more likely to get the virus, which is easily transmitted to others. The finding of the study can be used by corporations to offer a complete APD to nurses in providing nursing care. and health service can create opportunity for nurses to discuss the stress they are experiencing, support as author, and provide guidance. During this epidemic, workplace adaptation is required to ensure the health, safety, and welfare of nurses. The next, what are the limitations of the study? Will this qualitative analysis shed light on sources of nurses' experience of stress early in the pandemic? The study has some limitations. First, participants were limited to members of their nursing organization in a single UC stated Michigan, and results might not be generalizable to nurses in other states or countries. Nevertheless, many of the themes identified in this analysis are mirrored in studies from China, Italy, Australia, 36, and Portugal, suggesting a certain universality to the stress that nurses are experiencing. Second, significantly more nurses who did not respond to the open question to for 10 working in inpatient care compared to nurses who did respond to the question for 55. It is possible that non-respondents might have experienced different work-related factors that might have influenced their perception of stress. Nevertheless, the majority of respondents, over 65%, did with in respondent with limit not respondent bias. Our study sample was also subtlety larger than those of two previous qualitative study that explored the perception of 20 nurses and 310 nurses and specialists in China. As in a qualitative study, researcher bias may influence finding. However, analysis in the current study were valid to treat researcher who was not involved in the original coding.
What are the benefits of the study? The findings of the study can be used by companies to provide complete PPA to nurses in providing nursing care, and health services can provide opportunities for nurses to discuss their stress, support one another, and offer advice for workplace adaptation during the pandemic to ensure health, safety, and the well-being of nurses. Okay friends, that's all from our group. Thank you for your attention. Hopefully it will be useful. Take care of your health and don't forget to keep applying health protocols. Thank you.